What's up, guys? That really gross guy here. We are back and another buy bargain or bust. And today we're going to be talking about Warriors Abyss, which is another roguelike game by the developers that make Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Warriors Orokai, and believe it or not, are behind like Neo and a few other games, Ninja Gaiden as well. And this is an interesting game where you basically are going to drop into a series of dungeons and fight off a whole bunch of enemies and make your way through to many different bosses. The idea is you're a warrior summoned in the underworld to help prevent an evil demon Guma from, I guess, overthrowing the underworld of some kind. Anyways, so you get to select from a roster of the Koei Tecmo, games. So you have everybody from Guan Yu, the God of War, that you can see me playing as in the background, through to your basic, your Wei, your Wu, your Shu from Dynasty Warriors, as well as your different factions from like Samurai Warriors and whatnot as well. The guest appearances are from Ninja Gaiden, so you'll have like Ryu, Hayabusa, and I've brain farting on the other names. Anyways, but also the Atelier games. I don't know those games, personally, but the idea is that there are some guests from those games as well. But the idea is you drop in, you're fighting off these enemies, and you're basically recruiting to some degree these champions by your side. Now, you fight on your own, but after doing a sequence or a combo of some kind, you pair up these different soldiers to those combos. And upon doing so, they're basically going to come out, they're going to do their special combo or whatever alongside you, and they're gonna help take the enemies down as well. There's also this meter that you build up, which is called Assemble, and upon doing so, you're basically going to summon those warriors to your side, and they're freely going to just do some combat in the background as well. So the idea is, you're gonna push through this underworld. You're gonna summon up to, well, I say up to 6, but 6 can be tied to your combos at any given time. And basically, performing these combos is going to be absolutely necessary in order to kind of get through a lot of these larger waves, especially as you get deeper in the dungeon and taking down the bosses that you guys can see in the background. The bosses do have like a shield of some kind for each one. You basically are going to dwindle down that shield and then work away at their health. There's going to be like an opportunity to stagger and whatnot. But then after that stagger is over, they're going to refresh their shields and whatnot. So the idea is to dwindle them down and basically go all in when you get that stagger going. And basically make your way through the underworld to the final boss. Genuinely, if you're a big fan of these games, you're going to find yourself being able to play as all of these characters from these just absolutely beloved games. I personally have played Dynasty Warriors since as long as I can remember. I remember playing the 1v1 Dynasty Warriors 1 way back in like the 90s. All the way through Dynasty Warriors 3 was, a big revolutionary point in my life where you got the big battlefields and taking down thousands and thousands of enemies was just, it was incredible to me. And the nostalgia that this game brings back is, I love it so much. But yeah, and it honestly makes me want to play all of the Warrior series, once I get done playing this game, like, man, I gotta go into Dynasty Warriors and start playing again. Or Samurai Warriors, I've actually had in my backlog for a little while, and I've been meaning to play that. I know very little about the characters and story, so I'm excited to see what that is. It's almost a gateway to some of the other games if you haven't played them. Even the Atelier games look like they could be, fun. Obviously, Ninja Gaiden. Most people are familiar with Ninja Gaiden. I mean, the Nintendo Entertainment System had the original Ninja Gaiden, which I played. So I've been a big fan all the way up through Black. And, fighting, I forget his name, but that first boss on Ninja Gaiden Black was just insane. So this gives me that, like, childhood kind of vibes back, and I absolutely love it. One of the things that sold it for me, aside from the characters, is the fact that this is a game that is verified on SteamDeck. So if I'm out or I'm, between places or, traveling or whatever, I have the ability to basically just pop this on and get a couple, rounds or waves knocked out and play through the game a little bit. Maybe do a little bit of a grind for some of the resources and whatnot to, get the because just like a lot of the other Koei Tecmo games, they have like their unique weapons for each one of the characters that you have to discover and find. It's much more simplified than the games, that you would be familiar with, like Dynasty Warriors. But the idea is that there's some secret items, some loot to be found through the dungeons, and basically, you're gonna have that opportunity to kind of increase your power level for your characters. Now, technically, there is an end to the main dungeon, but there is, after you've beaten the game once, a like survival endless mode that you can go through. It's maybe not for everybody, but the idea is that there is that kind of end game grind that you could do if, like I said, you take your Steam Deck out, you beat the game, and you're just trying to maybe get into harder and harder content. There's a little bit of that for you here. As mentioned before, there is a huge roster of characters that you can select from. You earn this currency, and you're basically going to go through this like life tree, and you're going to recruit all of these characters. The more you recruit, the more they kind of create a little bit of like passive base stats that are going to make you a bit stronger. So rushing through this tree and unlocking as many characters as you can will benefit you. It also gives you the opportunity to recruit them out in your missions. And they all have specific types of bonds that you can, I don't want to say forge, but if you recruit characters as you're delving through the dungeon from the same factions or in some way, shape, or form, historically or through the games, has some sort of relationship of some kind, you gain some kind of like passive buff. So a good example of this, if you're familiar with Dynasty Warriors, is you have the three brothers like Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Liu Bei, who've basically promised each other that they would die in battle together. Basically, you have Tao Tao and his I believe they're cousins, but they're family. So recruiting those characters are a thing. The five generals of like Shu is a bond. The five generals of Wei, all that stuff is a bond. So there's these cool passive things that happen in the background if you're smart about the way you do your recruiting and mission. So of course you're gonna have your characters like Lu Bu. You have characters, unfortunately, I don't quite recognize, but Ryu Hayabusa, Zhuge Liang. So it's all there. It's really great, especially Jian. It's really great if you are a big fan of these games already, and you recognize these characters or know their stories and all that stuff. So very, very cool. And like I said, it's been a very cool, nostalgic trip for me. And I've been having a blast playing the game. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, well, based on what you've been saying, this nostalgic trip and this gameplay or whatnot, the Steam Deck capability, this must be an absolute buy for you. Now, unfortunately, the game is a little bit shallow in terms of overall content it offers. From what I've seen thus far and completing the dungeon all the way through myself, it seems like other than the endless mode at the end and maybe just doing harder versions of that same kind of dive into the dungeon, there's not a whole lot more there. There's a lot of DLCs you can purchase that are just like every other, Koei Tecmo game, where it's like you're just buying costumes for these characters that are literally just rehashed or regurgitated skins from the previous games. So like your character's really small. You can get the Dynasty Warriors 3 version of Guan Yu and all that stuff. But it's like that stuff I think is very cash grabby, and I have no interest in any of that. So when it comes to the DLCs, maybe then the couple small ones that introduce like I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can't remember if Ryu and the Atelier, the Ninja Gaiden and the Atelier characters are free updates. I think they are, but those character packs maybe if you have this nostalgia or love for those characters, but the costumes I don't think are worth it. If you are the type of person that has been playing Dynasty Warriors type games and have been buying those DLCs, your entire history of playing the games, then I'm not preaching to, you already know if you're going to be buying that stuff or not. But the idea is the game alone is $25 as the standard edition, and unfortunately, I don't think it's worth that. It is fun for sure. It is a great game to take on the road, personally. But when it comes to $25 and what you get, I don't see myself spending that. I did buy this on discount. I don't remember for how much, but I don't know. Wait for a discount. Wait for a bargain when it comes to this game. As fun as it is, it's a little bit too shallow for my personal taste. And yeah, it's up to you, but that's my bargain or bust. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. Let me know what you think about the game, especially if you've played it. Is this a game you're going to grab for the Steam Deck to go? Or, are you going to maybe pass on it? Maybe just jump in and play some classical Dynasty Warriors or whatnot. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Stay tuned. More buy bargain or bust coming up. Until next time, hello.